You know, in American society, men aren't cared about whatsoever. Men deal with a lot. And that's why you have a lot of men just not getting married, a lot of men who are actually taking their own lives. But I want you to hear what this brother has to say about some of that, because some of these concerns of men is just, something that we have to look into.
You don't care about mandatory paternity tests. You don't care about paternity fraud. You don't care about male suicide rates. You don't care about equalizing hard, laborious jobs outside. You don't want to equalize that. You don't care about what happens to people that are falsely accused, which is almost always exclusively men. You don't actually care about the declining school performance, the rise in ADHD diagnosis, and the psychiatric medication that comes from it. You don't care about the lack of homeless shelters for men.
Mandatory DNA tests and paternity fraud, that is something that should be very important for men. Because, see, we got a problem with men, too. All these men politicians, because most of men making these laws, and they're not enforcing certain laws. Mandatory DNA testing at birth should be in all 50 states. Let me tell you what you eliminate by doing that. One, you establish who's the father. Two, if you have to go to child support court, you don't have to hold up proceedings by getting DNA tests, right? So I've heard over the years pushback from women with mandatory DNA tests because some of them go out and do dirt, and then they try to put a baby that's not their husband's on their husband. And mandatory DNA testing would catch a lot of that. Or they would have to confess it before that child is born. Understand what I'm saying? So that's why they're against mandatory DNA testing. A lot of women, not all, but a lot of them are. Paternity fraud, that should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. If you're sitting up here putting a baby on a man and you knew that baby's not that man's, you should get jailed at least minimum 5 years, and any monies this man has been paid, you should have to pay every dime back. Because that's happened to a lot of men too. He mentioned about homeless shelters for men. They don't care about no man. Men can go to hell. That's just really what the society feel about men.
You don't care about the weaponization of the family court, the equal custodial rights, reproductive safe for men, reduction in child support and alimony, pathologizing of just men and masculinity in general, negative attitudes towards even men that want a nuclear family. You don't think or care about any of these things. And I'm not even saying it's just the feminists that don't care about it.
Nobody
I'm
has.
saying most people who don't do what I do don't care about this at all.
No, they don't care, because the family law courts is the worst of the worst to men. It is so unfair how no matter what the situation, it's like 80+% of the time women get the kids, right? Then that means they get the child support. And you may have to pay some spousal support. Treating a woman like a grown child. Listen, child support is one thing, but spousal support, and this woman was working. Not to say she was just in the house all those years, never did nothing, never had a career. That's really what spousal support was supposed to be for, actually, for those women. But modern society, women got careers, women are CEOs, women doing it big now. It's not like that no more. Women just sat in the house with no career and their husband is the only one that worked. And when he leaves or whatever the case may be, then she has no income. This also, all the issue that happens is the reason why a lot of men are not getting married, a lot of reason why men don't want to have children. And you talking about a decline in birth rates in the Western world, well, that's a lot of it. A man is saying, why do I want to have a child when this woman could just take my child away from me and put my child around any other man she wants to? And the court's going to back her up. Why should I have a child out here when I can see my child twice a month, every other week? That's stupid. Why should I even get married if she can just leave me whenever she get ready to? No fault divorce and take half everything I work for. That's why you have these issues happening in society with men. Men are like, yeah, I'm just kind of quiet quitting family life. I'm cool. And let's call it what it is, with the access of all these, not only the access of adult entertainment on your phone, dolls who are more and more realistic that's coming out. So men are getting their gratification that way. So they're not really needing women too much for that. They're making their own money. They're not really worried about no child or nothing like that. Some of these men travel. Some of these men say, I'm cool with my life. I don't have them issues and problems because if I get involved with this woman, she could do anything to me. Some of these situations have made men homeless, believe it or not. So it's a lot to it. But will this society correct itself? I don't see it happening. I do not see this society correcting itself. I see this society getting progressively worse. And you're going to have a crisis like that. You really are. And but to the men that got their act together, you good. To the men that got their act together, but the ones that don't, yeah. You have a lot of guys who single by themselves and playing Madden all day. And they're not even trying to get a woman. And that's the guys that they're worried about because governments think about children. Because if you don't have children, then you don't have workers. That's how the government thinks. The government don't really care about the kid. The government care about the kid growing up becoming a worker for a corporation. That's what they worried about. So a lot of men sitting in the house, yeah, they want you out that house. They want you outside. They want you making babies. And a lot of you don't want to do it. I understand because what's the